In 1997, oh look, it's gone. I chose the wrong color for this. Nevertheless, in 1997, you could have bought a brand new Game Boy Pocket. But you didn't, did you? I'm sure this relates to at least one person out there. You bought a freaking Tiger Gamecom for 70 bucks. Okay, seriously, if that was your choice, let me know what you were thinking. Did you really love the Tiger LCD games? These things were bad. Or maybe you were a huge fan of the Tiger R-Zone, but no you weren't because nobody was. Did you like being actively insulted as part of the target audience? Check this out, this is a real ad that they put on TV.
Tough guy, little help here. Surprise for all the slackers, but nothing better to do than play games and surf the net all day. Gamecom! Lay those bloodshot eyes on these babies! It speaks!
Let's rock.
Begs to be touched! Wires you to the internet! And it plays more games than you idiots have brain cells! Any questions? Does it play? Idiot! Next question! How about compatibility? How much does it cost? Let's get 'em!
Gamecom, the ultimate portable gaming system.
Okay, this thing did have some key features that were interesting. It was the first ever handheld game console to feature a touchscreen. There's supposed to be a stylus in here, but I don't have one. Sort of luckily, the touch resolution is only like 12 by 10 or something like that. If I get it on the right angle, you can actually see the touch grid. That's the limit of the touch accuracy, so using your finger is fine enough. It was also the first handheld game console to have internet capabilities, although not out of the box and not at launch. You had to buy the internet kit separately, which came out a month after the console, and then you had to buy a subscription to an internet service provider. That wasn't a common household thing to already have in 97. But at least once it was set up, you wouldn't need a PC for the internet, right? Well, this supported text only, so if your websites didn't need pictures of any kind, then you could read them, but you could send emails, so there is that. They were text only too, but most emails probably were at that time. But that's about where the internet functionality ended. I don't know if I'd want to buy all the extra stuff plus a subscription to make that work. Let's have a closer look. My LCD screen is a little bit dark in the background, but it still works. On the front, we've got an on-off button. A, B are at the top, C, D are at the bottom, so it's kind of a situation of don't be like Sega or Nintendo. The D-pad is not quite square with the console, that's weird. It's also a mushy disc. Pushing right feels the same as pushing down right. It's not very good. There's a speaker up here in a cool 90s swoosh. Then menu, sound, and pause buttons. Wait, sound? Does that mean there's no volume? There is a volume control. Why is there a sound button and a volume control? There's also a contrast control here. Being a black and white LCD like the Game Boy, it needs one of those. The Game Boy was in the same boat with a black and white screen and no backlight. Having said that, the Game Boy came out in 1989 and this came out in 1997, so it might have been a little late to get away with that. On the bottom, we've got a headphone jack. It says earphone here. On top of the system, we've got a DC input so you could power it off the wall or in your car or whatever's, and a communications port. This is how it could link to a 14.4K modem, another Gamecom, or later a PC. On the end, we've got 2 cartridge slots. I read that for whatever reason, the internet cartridge only works in slot 1, but you can put games in either one and choose one from the menu. And I'm thinking that they were thinking if you had your internet cartridge in here and your game cartridge in here, you could do online gaming, but that never happened. So the dual cartridge thing remained a bit of a gimmick, but I also don't hate it because it means you can take 2 games with you without having a loose one dangling around. On the back, we've got some gross brown happening in this gap here. That's someone's hand grease. It's dried out now. The batteries go under here. Hey, that's attached. 4 AA's, that's the same as an original Game Boy. Then we've got a second battery cover here. This one, ooh, it has a battery in it already. This is a memory backup battery. It's got a little bit of RAM in there, which it uses as permanent memory, so it's gonna have a battery to power it the whole time. RAM loses its data if it loses its power. That also makes this the first handheld to do that. Nothing else had internal storage at the time. So yeah, yeah, I guess there are a few reasons why you might have bought one of these. It had a few cutting edge things in it. But despite those few cutting edge features, the Tiger Gamecom was not selling well. So because it wasn't selling well and nobody wanted it, after 2 years they decided to release another one. This is the Tiger Gamecom Pocket Pro, and it's transparent purple. This came in a range of colors, and I love the transparent one so much. This is my OG Game Boy Advance. It's filthy and it was mine, it's my filth. Anything that I could get that was clear, I got it. Yeah, I know that's not clear. I got it before the clear ones came out, so I was so jealous of my friend who got a clear one. My favorite Nintendo 64 controller was a transparent blue one. Later on, I got a transparent green one. This aesthetic is just so freaking cool, and that brings me into this video's sponsor, LTTstore.com. They've gone and freaking done it. The LTT Transparent Screwdriver Prismagic series is available right now. These things are absolutely fantastic. I could do this forever, it's so much fun, but that's not even what it's for. The LTT screwdriver is ultra satisfying to use. It sounds smooth, it feels smooth. This knurling on here actually grips your fingers. Look at this. Easy. It has internal storage for the included 12 20mm bits, but if you've got some old crusty longer bits like I've got, then they can fit in there too. There's room for up to 42mm bits. On a lot of bit drivers, the bits don't hang in there very well. They end up just stuck in your screw when you remove the screwdriver. Look, I was trying to make an example and I didn't even pull it out. The magnet in here is strong. And speaking of magnets, look at this guy. This is a magnetic screw retriever. If you've dropped your screws down behind your hard drive or something, then you can just pick them up with that. Or maybe you just want to pick up this weird Christmas lid. You can do that too. Let's be honest though, this is brand new. Looks like I've hardly used it. You're going to be feeling like this is an empty endorsement because I haven't had experience with this. Not true. I've had the original LTT screwdriver for a long time. I even got the stubby one too, and these ones did not come from sponsorship. But the colors are so freaking cool. So if you want to get your own Prismagic LTT screwdriver to match your Gamecom, or I guess other retro consoles, then do it. Buy one. The link's in the description. They're actually great. Back to the Pocket Pro. Aside from being more pocketable, and I hope has a better screen because we'll get to that. It wasn't actually better in any way. It was just quite a lot cheaper. The original cost $70 at launch. 2 years later, the Pocket Pro came out at $30. The features are all the same, except this doesn't support the internet at all. It's a console without internet called a website. Game.com, except you don't pronounce the dot. Apparently it's silent. Even the D-pad's still on its wacky angle, and I'm not actually entirely sure why it doesn't support the internet. It has the communications port, it has one cartridge port. I tried to look up why it doesn't work, and maybe just the internet is wrong about the internet working. I do have the stylus for this one though, so that's fun. We can poke the purple thing at the thing. And of course, because this is one of my videos, this one doesn't work at all. So we're gonna have to fix this guy before we do any gaming. Shh, this one works, but I'm not using that one yet. It looks like it's already got some batteries in it, which is a fantastic sign. Whoa, 2 AA's in the Pocket Pro. That's half the original. I'm actually kind of struggling to get this thing apart. I'm not really sure exactly how it's supposed to be disassembled. Maybe it's not supposed to be disassembled. I think this is sort of working. Whoa, bits. There we go. There's heaps of gross battery leakage goop in here. I don't know how many of these Pocket Pro units were sold. The total for all of the variants combined is like 500,000. And Nintendo's biggest failure, the Virtual Boy, sold 700,000. Quite hilarious since the Gamecom was going against the Game Boy, which sold a few more. I hope this is a connector. It is. Oh, and wires. Man, this sucks. There are 0 teardown videos of these online. I couldn't even find a picture of the internals of a Pocket Pro, so I'm completely on my own with this. There we go. Alright, so we got 2 PCBs in here, which means printed circuit boards, since these green guys. And even though there's this pin header here, which plugs into the board here, we've still got another connector with wires. I really don't know why they couldn't have designed it with a larger pin header, but this whole thing reeks of cheapness, so maybe that explains it. This ribbon's for the LCD that connects into this brown connector, and there's also a ground wire here that's soldered at both ends. So don't go ripping the 2 halves apart, you gotta disconnect some things. Hopefully this... what's what now? Oh, one more screw? Ugh, look at that. That's out of a battery. Thankfully, it doesn't look like it's out of the batteries that were in there, so I might have scored some good batteries. Battery leaky crystal-y things. Yeah, there's our green fluff. This is probably all that's wrong with this system. This is a really cheap, nasty way of making a cheap, nasty chip. Instead of manufacturing actual ICs into a package and then soldering the package to the board, they just take the actual die, which is the working part of the chip, smash it straight onto the board and solder it down where it is, then cover it in this black goop. It's pretty pretty much the cheapest way to make a chip. I'm really not sure why they decided to do this one onto a PCB and then solder the whole PCB onto the board instead of just manufacturing the chip onto the board in the first place. But I guess it must have been cheaper somehow. They've done it again on this side. This one says RAM 3, so maybe that's the RAM or the backup memory. The battery is pretty close to it on the other side, so it could be. Oh, and this one says ROM R1, so this will be where the inbuilt software is stored, which I guess leaves this one to be the CPU, which I think in this case is a system on chip, which has a whole bunch of functions plus RAM and all sorts. It's a lot more than just a CPU. So I've cleaned the fluff off. There's some battery corrosion on both sides of the board with a bit here and another little bit over here, but it's not too crazy. Just need to repair the darkened sections and hopefully we'll be gaming poorly. Alright, I know it looks like I've just put these blue wires in random spots, but I just used more convenient solder points that electrically span the gaps caused by the corrosion. Before I put these back in, did I score some new batteries? I've used these before and I know that they get over 4 amps when they're brand new. They're flat. Wow, the other one is actually 0. Okay, new batteries, which are confusingly the same type. Oh, it's turning on already. I didn't tell it to turn on. It's turned on. We fixed it. But I'm not putting it back together yet because I want to show you the guts for this guy next to the guts to this guy. And let's see if we can figure out why the internet doesn't work on this one. Oh, who hates plastic clips? I do. This one looks possibly cheaper. I can't get the speaker out because they melted the plastic case over it, but not tight enough that it won't rattle. And first impression is that this is very cheap PCB material. It looks like someone just cut it with scissors. This thing is constructed horrifically. It's got 1,000 PCBs and weird plastic brackets to hold them in place. I am not impressed so far. Whoa, what the heck? I gotta reach through the PCB to a screw down the bottom? Okay. I had to desolder these wires. I was wrong about what the ribbon did on the Pocket Pro. It was actually the touchscreen ribbon, but this is such a horrific thing. There's actually hot glue in here. This bracket, which you're meant to take out with the LCD, as is evident by the capacitors being tucked behind it, they had to get stretched out of the way, that's adhered down to where the ribbon cable is permanently attached to the PCB. If I try and pull this bracket off now, it's probably going to destroy the touchscreen. And getting those 2 capacitors to tuck back down under here is going to be fantastic fun. If you've ever seen the quality of the electronics inside a Game Boy, it is very nice. Given that the Game Boy was cheaper than this device, this is not very nice. I don't know if I can get this out. There are so many screws. It's just because the whole thing's been designed poorly, so they have to put 1 million screws in to hold in the 1 million PCBs that they've got in here. Nah, more screws somewhere. Where are they? Where are the screws? I hate this thing. It's so bad. This is one of the worst assembled things I've taken apart in a long time. Is there another screw somewhere underneath the plastic that I can't take off because it'll ruin the touchscreen? Something's holding it in still. Oh no. What the heck? There's a screw right here from the other side. It's behind the label. Normally, putting screws behind labels isn't anything that's new to me. This is something that manufacturers do to stop you from getting inside systems. This screw doesn't stop you getting inside the system at all. Just makes your life really hard once you get there. I've never seen an internal screw underneath a label before. That is crazy. Ones that stop you getting into the console, yeah, sure. Internal screw under an external label. Crazy, crazy. Look, oh, there's 2 of them. Fantastic. That sucks so bad. Now you watch, I was probably wrong about that adhesive. Does this bracket come off the adhesive now? Nope, it's taking the, okay. We might have ruined the touchscreen. It's taking that with it. Okay, maybe it won't ruin it. Thankfully, the way they've done this is even cheaper than I thought, and it's probably going to be fine. These kinds of ribbons usually have a connector, or they're glued to the board with conductive adhesive. This time, they've just slapped it on the board and sandwiched it down with some foam against this plastic bracket. I still absolutely hate it. But it does mean we're gonna be able to investigate. Oh, come on. Investigate! Now that's fairly anticlimactic. Well, to begin with, this chip thing here looks exactly the same as the one on the Pocket Pro, except this one's got some more goop over the top. This row of resistors here looks like an addition to fix a problem they had. There's a lot of that sort of stuff going on. Look at this, more diodes. They weren't in the original design. These wires here, yep, they were added afterwards. These are all signs of a terrible product that went into production before it was ready. Interestingly, not so much on the original. I'm guessing they'd just let it go with the glitches. And the chip on the other side of the Pocket Pro is the same as this one. RAM 3, 71521, same. So unless the main system chip is different, which we don't really have a way of testing, then there shouldn't be any compatibility difference between these two other than one of the cartridge ports is missing. Information online for these things is just so scarce that when you do read something, it's not really guaranteed whether it's true or whether it's just a rumor that sort of started somehow accidentally and it's just been passed around. I don't have an internet cartridge, and even if I did, I wouldn't have a way to connect it to the internet anyway. So what I'm looking for is whether there are some traces that are different between the ports. It's possible that the Pocket Pro is missing some. Looks like there might be some missing ones down in here. But after looking closely at these two cartridge ports, all of them are fully populated. Every single pin is connected to somewhere. So if it's true that the internet only works through one of these ports, I'm guessing it's a software issue. The Pocket Pro also has every pin populated, so I don't know. I can't answer the question. If you somehow strangely know much more about the Gamecom than I can find on the internet, please let me know. Why wouldn't the internet cartridge work on the Pocket Pro? It has the COM port, it has a cartridge port, and why would it only work on one of the original Gamecom cartridge ports? Well, they were every bit as difficult to reassemble as I thought they were going to be. I have two working Gamecoms now, but I thought I had one of each type. Turns out, there's a third one that goes in the middle here. They made 3 freaking versions of the Tiger Gamecom. The first version of the Pocket Pro was only available in grey or black, I can't really tell from the photos, and it included an illuminated screen. It was marketed as a backlight, but it was actually a front light, and like everything else in the Gamecom world, the reviews are not good for that particular feature. It was later in 1999 that the coloured ones came out, they didn't have the front light, and it seems like probably the grey one dropped the front light too. I honestly can't believe how hard it is to find information on these consoles. As an example of how hard this stuff is to look up, if you can even find one picture other than this one of a blue Gamecom Pocket Pro, I'm gonna be very, very impressed. But as far as I can tell, this one does have the same LCD screen as the front lit model, it just doesn't have the lights shining in through the sides, and since we're under studio lighting, it's not gonna make any difference to our experience today. Now the games. The Gamecom only ever had 20 games released, but there are quite a few recognizable titles in amongst them. Resident Evil 2, Batman and Robin, The Lost World, Jurassic Park, even Williams Arcade Classics and Centipede, they're known names, just not really modern at the time of release. Surely some of these games have got to be good. So even just at the main menu screen, you can tell that this has a better LCD in it. But first I want to experience the original Gamecom, which has exciting features like phone book. Whoa, animated phone book. I guess I can confirm that the phone book is functional. Okay. Alright, you gotta push enter to get into it. A calendar. Sure, it can be 97, why not? Can we go to the year 9999? We cannot. We can go to 2099, but not 2100. Wait, you can't... Ooh. I thought you would be able to use this like an organizer and put things in on the days. You can't. You can just see the days. So that's not very useful. We have a calculator. Well, the calculator works properly. High score is interesting. It keeps your high scores for the games. I did read somewhere that you could upload your high scores to the internet too if you had the internet kit. I pulled the save battery out since last time I used this, so there are no high scores for anything. Solitaire is there by default because it's built into the system, which is what we're up to now. Whoa, the most exciting of built-in games. 5, 6, 4, 5. Oh, that's not enough resolution to show the cards. It just shows the front one and the back one. I'm not very good at it, but Solitaire does work. I ran out of time ages ago. It might not be the most exciting built-in game, but it does pass time, and that's what games are supposed to do. Now we want cartridges, don't we? Please insert cartridge. I wonder if you can do that without turning it off. Let's have a look at Jurassic Park first. Whoa, you can hot swap. Listen to this music. I don't know what's going on. It just doesn't sound like anything. Whoa, alright. And I think it just started again. Am I Harding or Tembo? I don't know these people, because Jurassic World is not one I'm familiar with. He's got a gun though, we'll go with that. Area 1, Stegosaurus. Oh, I've got heaps of light on this screen. I can't see what's going on. I can make the contrast darker. I'm so glad this music is still going. What am I, oh, okay. Oh, look at the motion blur. So I'm driving along, I'm trying to avoid these dinosaurs coming up behind me, and it's just blur! Oh, 74%? Yeah, alright, let's just get to the end of it then, I suppose. Oh, the other one's brake. That's pointless when the dinosaurs are coming up behind you. The biggest problem with this game system, other than all of the games being bad, is the LCD screen. It was really not good. Oh, there was an enemy there. Alright. I think this is a tranquilizer gun by the sound it makes. Alright, good. Shooting over the top of that one, put it to sleep. Oh, even without the motion blur, the contrast is too dark. I can't really see what's going on. Oh, okay, that's bad. Let's go for another game. Centipede. This is a classic arcade game. Surely it can manage this. I don't know why there's a ticking in the background. So it's just the classic arcade game, Centipede. Only it looks worse than the classic arcade game Centipede did. Having said that, it plays fine. The sound is a bit strangely crackly. It doesn't really look like they've used different greys or anything. It just seems to be all black and white. So yeah, that works fine. So I've just chosen to go to the main menu and it said, "Are you sure? The top choice will kill game." I don't know who programmed this, but that English is not great. Although it does add a little bit of enjoyment to the Gamecom. So we were just playing classic. There's an updated version. Wow, it still doesn't use grey, but it's got 1-bit shading now. The mushrooms also lean one of 2 ways. So yeah, that's an incredible remake. I want to see what the sound button does. Oh, you get a menu. I thought it would just mute the sound, but you get a little menu, so you can choose to turn just the music or the effects on and off. Wait, are they calling this music? All right, so the horrible background noise and clicking is all just music. Music. Pause, pauses. Menu, menus. Exit game. While we're looking at the arcade remakes on this thing, we may as well play Williams Arcade Classics. What? What? Huh? What just happened? Okay. The flat batteries that came out of this thing, I accidentally put in here. So we've been running on 2 flat batteries and 2 good ones. Let's try that again. Cartridge. Yeah, we do get to choose between arcade classics and the Centipede one isn't displaying quite right. Does it still work? Alright, well done, Tiger. Alright, so the game isn't running properly. Look at this, I can move the cursor and the whole game when I press the directions, and the whole game freezes when I stop pressing the directions. Let's start a game. Oh, we can't go down past game options. Oh, it's defaulted to it now. Yeah, play game. I have no idea what's going on here. But the cartridge is bugged out somehow, and the game only seems to run when I'm pushing directions. Other than that, it freezes. I'm just stepping frame by frame. How does this happen? Other than that... Oh, I can push anything? Anything advances a frame. Any button advances a frame in the game. Other than that, it stops. Well, I'm glad I got this on film because I don't know how I did it and I don't know how to replicate it, but it sure is on brand for this system. So to change what menu item I'm on, I have to push the direction and then find a button that doesn't affect that and advance the frames until I get there. Oh, it's the whole Gamecom, is it? The power button doesn't work anymore. Exit game. Make the frames happen. Exit game. Alright, it's fine again now. I wonder what caused that. Oh! Oh! Okay. Well, I've pulled the games out, and now the entire thing is frozen, and it's got a soft on and off button, which doesn't work anymore. Here's our solution. Alright, next game. Oh man, it's so hard, so dark. So this game has Robotron, Sinistar, Defender 2, Joust, and Defender. I'm only gonna play, you can't even see that it says Defender 2. I'm only gonna play one of these. Why is the frame rate so low? Oh wow! The frame rate's chugging so bad. This is an 80s arcade game on a 90s console. Oh! The explosion had 2 frames because it took too long. The sound's bad. Next game. Why don't we give the Pocket Pro a chance? Then it'll just be the game that's bad instead of the screen. Unless this screen's bad too. At least on this one I can adjust the contrast to where I want it. This is Batman and Robin. I'm gonna jump straight into the game. It says select your hero and then it's got left and right. But left and right don't do anything. What's even happening? Yeah, sure. Alright. Is this frozen? What am I doing? Gas grenades. I'm Robin. How do I attack? Whoa, that's how I jump. Alright, that's how I attack. I was never much of a fan of beat 'em ups, so this already isn't my genre. But the controls are very stiff. I'm nearly dead. No, get out of my face. Wait, is my health just going up as I'm getting hurt? Oh, the black is my health. So I wasn't nearly dead, but now I'm nearly dead. Can I just get past everyone? Because everyone's really, really annoying. Let me past. I don't care about you. I want to get past. Go, go, go. Oh, I'm dead. Let me jump through you. Let me break your collision detection. I want to break your collision detection so that I can progress. Thank you. This seems to be the quickest way through, is to just keep jumping and you get a little bit further through them each time you jump. Wait, I'm not going any further. Whatever is happening right now, it isn't fun. Games are meant to be fun. I can't even break their collision detection in the other direction. Oh, I can jump kick though. There are so many enemies, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I tried to just progress and then it stopped me at an invisible wall. Go back and it seems like, look, all these enemies have just spawned again. Next game. The next one's called Lights Out. It's actually a video game version of a physical game. I vaguely remember playing it on something else in one of my videos, but I can't remember what. This game seems to be reported as the most enjoyable game on the Gamecom. The way it works is you touch a square and that square and the ones either side in a plus shape all change color. You want to get the entire board to change to black. Hence, lights out. You want all the lights to be out. When I first got the Gamecom, I actually played this for like an hour or so. It's fine, it's fun. It's just not really even required to be a video game. I love how the touchscreen just doesn't work sometimes. It makes playing a touch-exclusive game all the better. Yeah, okay. Resident Evil 2. This game was a big deal, and that's why we've had a remake not too long ago. Resident Evil 2 is a good game. A bizarre incident occurred in the... Oh, I was too slow. It was later revealed that the terrible disaster had been caused by the T-virus. So for those who don't know, Resident Evil is a survival horror zombie apocalypse game where someone created some virus which turns people into zombies, blah, 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 blah. I'm actually getting a little bit of a nostalgia hit reading this because I played Resident Evil 4 and loved it. Then I played Resident Evil 5 and I wasn't really into it. Kind of fell out of love with the franchise after that. But they are meant to be very good games anyway. I want to shoot. How? I'm just getting eaten by a zombie. Oh man. I died. It was the first screen of the game. That's not even long enough to show that the game's bad. So Resident Evil is supposed to be a 2.5D thing where you walk around very slowly and try and kill the zombies that are coming towards you. Yes. Oh. Don't put an enemy that close to me at the very first screen. I need to figure out what the buttons are. I want to be able to walk away so that I can just figure out what I'm even doing. I don't know how to walk. I'm gonna be very unhappy soon. Hey, I just realized this doesn't have a sound menu, so I can't change sound effects and music separately. I can only exit or pause. Come on. Come on. Yes! Oh, up is walk. No! Oh. That's Resident Evil 2. I didn't get anywhere in it, I couldn't show you any more than that, but the reviews are really bad. It leaves out almost the entire story and half the characters and stuff are not even in it. It's the worst version of Resident Evil there is. I wonder if my Centipede game actually works or if it's broken for good. Wow. What the heck? Let's try with it on already. Oh, sure, we'll clear it. It wasn't supposed to happen when I put a cartridge in though. It does work, I think. Yeah, it does. And actually, it does use grey. I'm sorry, it was just my other Gamecom being even more terrible than usual and not showing greys. I have a sample size of one original Gamecom, so I don't know whether they were all like that with the stupid bad contrast problem, or if that's just a problem that's special to me. Now, I don't have it, so I'm not going to be able to play it, but Duke Nukem 3D did come out on the Tiger Gamecom. I was actually kind of looking forward to trying that version of it until I looked it up. You see, the Gamecom can't actually do 3D. So Duke Nukem 3D isn't 3D. The way it works is you walk down a straight corridor forever and you can steer a little bit side to side without actually turning the camera side to side. So it's looking to me like the Gamecom has the title of being the only console where every single game ported to it is the worst version of that game. That's not a good title, especially given the potential it could have had with all the IP licensing they had. This thing had the worst version of Fighters Megamix, the worst version of Mortal Kombat Trilogy, the worst version of Sonic the Hedgehog. The N-Gage version was better. And there were even more games with AAA titles in development, like Metal Gear Solid, Command & Conquer Red Alert, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. How the heck did they license all of these games and make no good ones? No good ones. None. And I guess that's all there is to say about the Tiger Gamecom. The best game on here can be played on a checkers board. That's it. If you'd like early ad-free access to all my videos and a photo of every single video game thing that I get for my collection, because I've been collecting for ages and I'm always getting new stuff, some of it's pretty interesting too, then you can follow me on Floatplane for $2.50 a month. Or if you just want to see those photos, you can join for $1 a month. The link's in the description, I'll see you there. Well, I've finished filming and I've just found another freaking terrible thing. In Centipede, the on-off button just doesn't work. If I go menu, X a game, then I can turn it off.